And let's keep our focus on Capitol Hill and to Republican Senator James Risch of Idaho. He's a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee and the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee. I spoke with him earlier this evening, just as the story on the Comey memo broke. Senator Risch, welcome. I want to begin by asking you about a story that the New York Times has just posted about a memo, a contemporaneous memo that former FBI Director James Comey wrote after a meeting with the president on the day that Michael Flynn resigned as National Security Advisor. He quotes the president as asking him to let the investigation into Flynn go. I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He interprets it, Mr. Comey interprets it as asking for an FBI investigation not to go forward. Do you have any reaction to this?
Haven't seen it, don't know anything about it, haven't read it, and before I commented, I'd want a lot more. I want to know a lot more about it than what I do, but thanks for asking.
I understand. So let's move on to the other news of the day. The allegations or the suggestion that President Trump shared classified information with the Russian officials in the Oval Office. Are you satisfied with the White House explanation, or do you have any other further questions?
Well, I don't really need the White House explanation on this. There's only one person on the planet who can make the decision whether to declassify something and whether to talk to someone outside of those of us that are cleared with security, and that's the President of the United States. If indeed it was on the subject that, and I'm neither going to confirm or deny that it was, but if it was on the subject of airliner safety, I believe the president obviously had the legal authority to do it. He can declassify at any time. But secondly, I think he has an obligation under his oath as President of the United States, when he, in his judgment, determines it's in the best interest of the people of the United States to declassify something, do it. The national media has treated this story as if this was a one-off, like this never happens. Look, the President of the United States deals every day with heads of other countries, with high-level people of other countries, and he constantly discusses classified information with them. Not only can he do that, he should do that, because we exchange classified information with almost every country on the face of the earth, with the exception of a couple of them. And we, even ones that we're not particularly friendly with, we do have overlapping interest in things like airline safety. And so if indeed that was the subject, and that's what's been reported, he should be commended for that. The real story here is there's a weasel here, and that is the person who reported about this conversation. This is a person who is a traitor. They betrayed their own country. They betrayed their families and their neighbors. And when you disclose classified information, classified conversations that you have access to, it is an act of treason. It's unfortunate we can't get that person identified, but he or she should be held to answer for that and treated as any treasonous person would be.
And Senator, you say that the president can declassify any information, any classified information. I understand that's true for U.S. intelligence products, but this was an intelligence developed by another country. Can he also declassify material given by another country's intelligence service?
Of course. We don't even have laws that cover classified information from another country. People could talk about that wherever they want to. You don't generally do that. You treat it like all other classified information. But the President of the United States is fully entitled to discuss this with the people he sees fit to do it.
Senator, you're chairman of the subcommittee, Senate Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on the Near East.
I am.
The reports are that this information product came from Israel. Does it give you any concern or any pause that this was given to Russia, an ally of Iran, which Israel sees as an existential threat?
Yeah, well, first of all, like I said, if it was what's been reported on, that is airline safety, it would have nothing to do with the relationship between Iran and ISIS and Hezbollah and all that sort of thing. But my position is exactly the same as the Israeli ambassador, who was asked about this early today and said this will have absolutely no effect on the great cooperation between the security and intelligence agencies of the United States of America and Israel. We've been very close. We're going to continue to be very close. We have concurrent interests. And look, there's been other times where there have been embarrassing lapses and disclosures, and we've worked around it, and that's not uncommon in these kinds of things.
And even though the president said, or the president's spokesman has said that the president did not discuss methods and sources,
right?
Is there a concern that there was enough information in what the president said that the Russians could figure out the methods and sources and put that source at risk?
Almost never are methods and sources disclosed unless there is a reason to do that, such as an asset would be at risk or someone's life is at risk. So it would not be unusual that the president did or did not know what the methods and sources were. It's part of this anti-Trump fervor that the national media has to try to make him look bad every time he turns around. This was a good act that he did, not a bad act that he did, but there was a bad act done here. Somebody ought to go to the people who printed this and say, look, you're an American, I'm an American, tell us who did this so we can put him in jail.
Senator James Risch of the Senate Intelligence Committee, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, John.